You're 33 years old. You've been out of college for 11 fucking years. 11 years of working your ass off, 11 years of adulting, 11 years of doing exactly what you were supposed to do. And you know what you have to show for it? A balance that's barely moved. You borrowed $45,000 to get a degree everyone said you needed. You've paid back $38,000. And you still owe $41,000. Read that again. You paid $38,000, and somehow you owe more than when you started paying. Not because you're bad with money, not because you're lazy, not because you fucked up, but because the entire system is designed to keep you trapped, paying forever. Student loans aren't just debt. They're a financial parasite that's been feeding on you for over a decade while you were too busy trying to survive to realize what was happening. Today, we're ripping this thing open, and by the end, you're going to be pissed off at how badly you've been screwed. Let's go. All right, real talk. Student loans are not normal debt. They're not like your car payment where you can trade in for something cheaper. They're not like credit card debt where you can negotiate or settle. They're not even like a mortgage where at least you're building equity in something. Student loans are in their own special circle of financial hell. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. You cannot escape them. Declare bankruptcy? Doesn't matter. Student loans survive it. They're like the financial version of a cockroach after a nuclear war. They just keep going. Can't afford payments? Too fucking bad. They'll garnish your wages, take your tax refund, even garnish your Social Security when you're old. Stop paying your car loan? They take your car. Stop paying your mortgage? They take your house. Stop paying your student loans? They take your future. Right now, in 2026, Americans owe $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's trillion, with a T. That's more than every credit card and every car loan in the entire country combined. It's more than most countries' entire GDP. And you're part of that number. Maybe you owe $25,000, maybe $60,000, maybe $200,000 if you went to grad school and really got your ass handed to you. But here's where it gets truly fucked. The interest. Because that's not just sitting there politely waiting for you to pay it back. It's growing, multiplying, compounding. And that's the shit that's actually destroying you. Let me walk you through exactly how you got screwed. You're 18 years old, you're sitting in a financial aid office. Some counselor is pushing papers at you talking about investment in your future and opportunity. You sign for $50,000 in loans, federal loans, let's say, at 6.5% interest. Pretty standard. You think, okay, 4 years of college, then I'll get a good job and pay this off in 10 years. No problem. Except here's what they conveniently forgot to mention. Most of your monthly payment isn't paying off your loan. It's paying interest. Month 1, you pay $550. Sounds good, right? You're making progress. Except $270 of that, $550, is interest. Only $280 goes toward your actual debt. Month 2, same shit. $270 to interest, $280 to principal. For the first 3 to 5 years, you're basically renting your own debt. You're paying the bank for the privilege of owing them money. And if life happens, which it always fucking does, and you can't afford the standard payment, that's when you're really screwed. Because then you switch to an income-driven repayment plan. Your payment drops to $300 a month. Seems manageable, right? Wrong. That $300 doesn't even cover the monthly interest. So every single month, the unpaid interest, let's say $50, gets added to your balance. That's called capitalization, and it's financial cancer. Your debt grows. You're paying, on time, every month, doing everything right. And your debt is getting bigger. This isn't an accident. This isn't a glitch. This is exactly how the system was designed to work. They want you paying forever.
Let's talk numbers. Real, brutal, soul-crushing numbers. You borrowed $50,000, standard 10-year repayment at 6.5% interest. Your monthly payment? $568. Over 10 years, you'll pay a total of $68,160. That's $18,160 in pure interest. $18,000 just gone, evaporated into thin air. You got nothing for it except the privilege of paying back money you already spent. But wait, because it gets so much worse. Let's say you couldn't handle that $568 payment, so you switched to an income-driven plan. Your payment dropped to $350. Sounds better, right? Except now you're on a 20-year payment plan. Over 20 years at $350 a month, you'll pay $84,000 total. But here's the part that'll really piss you off. For the first 8 years, your balance actually increased. It grew from $50,000 to $64,000 because your payment wasn't covering the interest. So you paid $84,000 to eliminate a $50,000 loan that temporarily became a $64,000 loan because you couldn't afford to pay enough to stop it from growing. You just paid 68% more than you borrowed. And that's assuming everything goes perfectly. No job loss, no medical emergency, no pandemic, no life. But life always happens. Your transmission dies, your kid needs braces, you get laid off, your rent goes up $400. So you defer or forbear, because what choice do you have? And every month you're not paying, that interest is still piling up, still capitalizing, still growing. 1 year of forbearance on a $50,000 loan at 6.5%? That's $3,250 added to your balance. You took a break from payments for 12 months, and now you owe $53,250. That's not debt. That's a fucking trap. So what does this actually cost you? Not in dollars, in life. Because student loans don't just drain your bank account, they steal your options, your future, your ability to actually build a life. You can't buy a house. Why? Because when a bank looks at your finances, they see that $568 loan payment and say, nope, your debt-to-income ratio is too high. Never mind that you've been paying rent and student loans for 10 years. Never mind that a mortgage would literally be cheaper than your rent. You're too risky. So you keep renting, keep paying someone else's mortgage, building zero equity, flushing money down the toilet every month. You can't start a business because you don't have startup capital. You don't have savings. Every extra dollar you make goes straight to Nelliet or whoever the fuck is holding your loans this year. You've got ideas, you've got skills, but you're chained to a desk job you hate because you need that steady paycheck to make your monthly payment. You can't take a pay cut for a job you'd actually love. You see a position doing something meaningful, something you care about, but it pays $15,000 less. Can't do it. You're locked in. That loan payment isn't negotiable. You can't have kids. Or you do, but you're doing it broke and stressed, trying to figure out if you can afford diapers and daycare and loan payments all at once, calculating whether formula fits in the budget after you make your payment. You can't retire on time. While your friends who didn't go to college were investing in their 401ks in their 20s, you were paying interest. Compounding worked against you instead of for you. The Federal Reserve found that student loan borrowers retire an average of 7 years later than people without loans. 7 fucking years. That's 7 years of your life you're trading to pay for a decision you made when you were a teenager who didn't understand how interest worked. And the psychological toll, the constant weight, the shame of being in your 30s and still buried in debt from your early 20s, that doesn't show up on a spreadsheet, but it's there every single day.
Here's what'll really make your blood boil. This wasn't always the reality. In 1980, the average cost of college was about $3,800 a year. Today, over $30,000 at private schools. Even public universities are averaging $11,000. That's a 640% increase in raw dollars. Even adjusted for inflation, it's a 213% increase. Meanwhile, wages? Basically flat. In 1980, you could work a part-time summer job, like 20 hours a week at minimum wage, and pay for an entire year of college. Today, you'd have to work full-time at $15 an hour year-round, and you still couldn't cover tuition. So loans became the only option, and the government backed them, and private lenders saw dollar signs, and universities realized they could charge whatever the hell they wanted because students would just borrow more. It became a system where everyone wins except you. Banks make billions in interest. Universities keep raising tuition. Loan servicers profit off your payments.
And you're 38 years old, still paying for a degree you got at 22, wondering why you can't afford a down payment on a house. You were sold this idea that education is an investment in yourself, that it pays off, that a degree is your ticket to the middle class. And statistically, yeah, college grads earn more on average than non-grads. But what they don't tell you is that the earnings premium you get is completely wiped out by 2 decades of loan payments. That you're running on a treadmill, sprinting as fast as you can just to stay in the same financial place as someone who skipped college entirely. So here's where you are. You did everything right. You went to school, you got the degree, you got the job. You've been making payments for years, and you're still fucked. Not because you made bad choices, but because the entire game was rigged before you even started playing. And now you're trapped in a system designed to keep extracting money from you for decades. So what do? Honestly, there's no good answer. You can throw extra money at the principal if you have it. You can refinance if you qualify. You can pray for loan forgiveness that might not survive the next election. Or you can just accept that this is your life now, that you'll be making this payment every month until you're damn near 50. But here's the only thing that matters. You're not alone. 43 million Americans are in this same hell, living the same exhausting loop, feeling the same rage every time they check their balance and see it's barely moved. And maybe, just maybe, if enough of us realize how thoroughly broken this system is, something might change. But until then, you've got a payment due in 3 weeks. Better get back to work.